Looking for the best place to raise your family here in Houston, Texas? Well, here it is. This is Kingwood, Texas, the livable forest. Niche.com's #1 neighborhood to raise a family in Houston, Texas. And that's fresh data, 2023 data. So we're going to talk about schools. We're going to talk about neighborhoods. We're going to go over housing prices and all these different little villages of Kingwood, where I'm going to show you the Greenbelt trails. We're going to be talking about pros and cons of Kingwood, what it's like living here, working here, playing here. I have 2 kids. They're 6 and 7 years old. Everything that they do in this area right here in our little pocket that we love of Kingwood, Texas. So you probably figured out this is where I live. You know, I live in Sand Creek Village here in the back of Kingwood. My family and I moved back in 2018 from South Orange County, California, and we absolutely love it here. And I might be biased because we live here. So one of the things we're going to do too is I'm actually going to pull up niche.com. You're going to see all these great ratings of Kingwood, and this is all public information too. So I'm actually going to show you reviews on niche.com. So it's not just my opinion. You're going to hear it from others, straight from them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I can't wait to show you all this. We're going to get out into the neighborhoods. I'm going to show you some of these shopping centers. We're going to be doing a lot in this video, so stay tuned. But let's go ahead and jump into it right now. This is everything you need to know about Kingwood, Texas. So as I mentioned, according to niche.com, Kingwood, Texas is the #1 best place to raise a family in Houston. So as you can see right here, we have niche.com pulled up. You can see that rating right there, #1 best neighborhood to raise a family in Houston. We're going to kind of go through this whole little chart real quick, and then I'm going to show you some reviews right here so you can see what other people are saying about Kingwood, Texas. So overall grade A+. I mean, you can see this, public schools, housing, everything's B's and A+, crime and safety A+. Really, really great, diverse neighborhood here in Kingwood. Median home value about $227. So as I mentioned, when we get into looking at some of these houses in this video, which I'm going to show you in a second, there's homes in the 200s and there's homes in the millions. So something for everybody here in Kingwood, and that's what I really love about it, and it's really unique. Honestly, it's probably the only community that I've seen that type of diversity all in one area, because Kingwood itself isn't very far. It's only about 5 miles each direction, so very dense area, but still super diverse. So it's really, really cool. A lot of mix of people. As you can see, 80% owner occupied homes here as well versus 20% renters. So a lot of pride of ownership in these communities as well. Quick little map. I'm going to give you a map tour of Kingwood in this video as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm telling you, we're covering everything you need to know about Kingwood. So we'll get to a map in a minute. Biggest thing I want to show you on here, along with the reviews, again, these rankings. So this is all Houston area. #1, best neighborhood to raise a family, as I mentioned. #8, best neighborhood to buy a house in Houston. So that's all of Harris County. We're talking #8, best place to buy a house, and #10, best neighborhood to live in. So probably 3 of the most important, in my opinion, most important topics ranking in top 10 here. So really, really great. Crime and safety A+, doesn't even register. This is calculated per 100,000 residents, so doesn't even register here. And one of the reasons why is because it is kind of tough sometimes, which is a con that I'm going to talk about in this video as well. Kingwood is kind of secluded, which is great because it's very private, very safe, as you can see on these ratings here. But sometimes traffic can be bad getting in and out because there's only a few ways in and out of Kingwood. So I'm going to show you that in a second too. Public schools, very known for its great public school system. So again, #1 place to raise a family. Tons of families moving here, not just from across the country, but actually in Houston as well. I'm working with people that are from Clear Lake. They've been in Clear Lake their whole life. Their kids are about to start high school. They're moving here to Kingwood just so their kids can go to high school here in Kingwood. So very, very great public schools here. And again, here we go on these reviews. You can see 4 stars overall, but what you're gonna see is the commonality of all of these comments here. So as you can see right here at the top, Kingwood area is perfect for families. Schools are fantastic. Outdoor activities are easy to come by. Neighborhoods are very safe. Restaurants, food options, gyms, walking trails, just great review right there. That pretty much points out everything that Kingwood is all about. I love Kingwood because it's known for its trees, and we call it the bubble. Small but also large community with multiple restaurants, grocery stores. We're gonna get to all that too. Let's go ahead and look at these reviews. So again, you're gonna see a trend. Very calm, nice people occupying it. Crime rate in Kingwood is very low, considered to be very family friendly wherever you go. Perfect for families, schools are fantastic. That was the one we just read. Love living in Kingwood, surrounded by beautiful trees, filled with greens and lovely walking areas. Friendly, fun environment, safe for growing families. Neighborhood of Kingwood is really calm and safe. People are nice. There's always community events. I'm going to talk about some of that stuff too at Kingwood Town Center, some of the things they do there. Some of these different neighborhoods have summer swim programs as well. So I'm going to touch on all of that stuff today. Lived in the area for many years and enjoy it. Schools are great. Many things right around the area for enjoyment and family. So we can keep going through this all day till we're blue in the face, but you get the picture. Great place for families. And if that's what you're looking for in your move to Houston, Kingwood is probably going to be a great fit for you. One of the biggest questions I get about Kingwood, Texas, because a lot of times when you're researching Kingwood, the biggest thing people ask or see online is about flooding, right? So everyone tries to say Kingwood floods a lot. When you look at percentage base, Kingwood doesn't flood any more or less than really anywhere around Houston. So, you know, I hate to see people say, oh, it floods so much, and then you have other people that kind of downplay it. You know, the truth is the truth. It can flood. It did flood during Harvey, and I'm going to kind of show you, we're going to go to Town Center. I'm going to show you how high that flood level actually was. But before we jump into that, actually, instead of me just sitting here, I'm going to show you my house. I'm going to show you my property. We didn't flood during Harvey, but just a few years ago, we had Tropical Storm Imelda come through, which hit Kingwood pretty hard. So actually, let's go right now. I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to show you. Here we go. Just kind of walking through my house. So we'll go out to the front yard. So you can kind of see my property is... We're about, it's hard to tell from here. I'm going to go to the street to show you. So we're essentially about 2 to 3 feet above the street. But I'll tell you right now, this whole street is like, it was like a river just running down. I mean, we had like trash cans flowing down. And if you could just imagine a flow of water running that way, our main drain for our street is a few houses down that way. And, you know, let me try to actually zoom out here. There we go. So this is a lot better of a view. And kind of looking back, so again, all this was just full of water. During Imelda, we had water all up through our planter, like a few feet from our front door. So just to kind of give you an idea, we did not flood during Harvey. We did not flood during Imelda, which was probably the next biggest storm. But you know, you can see as this car is driving by, you can imagine this whole thing was full of water. Anytime a car drove by, we had waves kind of just coming up to within a few feet of our front door. So it really scared us, but it did not flood. So, and then kind of coming around this way, one thing I want to point out too is, you know, a lot of these homes, we're actually right here in Sand Creek. We're actually not even in a flood zone. So we don't have to carry flood insurance because we're not in the flood zone. But going over here into my backyard, beware of my vicious German Shepherd. I think he's actually in the garage right now. He is the nicest dog in the world. But again, just speaking towards flooding, so the way our property is set up back here, actually in my neighbor's yard, the main drain is back there. So there's one drain like for these 4 properties here. So when it rains heavy, our entire yard will flood just about to where this tree is here. So if you can imagine just like a pond of water. But what's great is our house is actually built up. So once it gets to a certain level, it all just goes out the front to the main drain. So as I turn around here, you can kind of see a little bit. You can see kind of the foundation. It's hard to tell. It's about maybe 10 inches up from the ground. And then on this side as well, we have like a whole foot over here before any water were even attempted to get into our home. So, and the most water we've seen, again, as I mentioned, it's kind of this little area here to where this tree is, and then it all flows outside. So just kind of wanted to point that out to give you an idea of Sand Creek Village, which is right here where we live. So as mentioned, guys, here we are. This is a map of Kingwood, Texas. I'm going to be showing y'all where the airports are, how far we are to downtown, possible commuting routes depending on where you work in Houston, distance to the Woodlands, just kind of all encompassing everything you need to know about what it looks like to live here in Kingwood and the little pockets of things there are to do. Plus, if you're commuting, if you don't work from home, you're gonna have to get to work. So I'm gonna show you some different options of getting in and out of Kingwood because it could be kind of tricky. So here we are. This is obviously right here. Here's Kingwood. You know, you got the clubs of Kingwood Golf Course. You got all four golf courses on this side, plus the Deerwood course over here towards the back of Kingwood on this side. Beautiful course, by the way. So I'm going to show you some of those details here in a second. One of the main hubs right here in Kingwood is where this HEB is, plus all of the shops, grocery stores, food, entertainment, pretty much everything you need is right here. So just as an example, we live back here in Sand Creek Village. If I didn't have to leave for work, a lot of people work remotely now. We kind of don't have to leave this little bubble. My wife works nearby, so our kids go to school here. My wife calls it our bubble all the time, and she always says, I love our little Kingwood bubble. But you know, anything you need is right here at this main intersection of Kingwood Drive and Westlake Houston Parkway. All right, so here we are. We're at the Kingwood Town Center right now. So I'm gonna walk through here and kind of just show you some of the stuff there is. As you can see right behind me, there's a Vessel Pilates studio. So if you enjoy Pilates, you got a spot right here. You can probably tell by my physique, I do not do Pilates, so I have no clue what goes on in there, but I do know a lot of people that go there and they seem to enjoy it. So you got Pilates right here. There's a hair salon also right next door to the Pilates shop. You got this New York pizzeria right here on the other side. You got Fuddruckers, McDonald's. I mean, this whole intersection, we're right here at the intersection of Kingwood Drive and Westlake Houston Parkway. So I'm actually going to show you next where this HEB is, all the food, everything over there. There's an Ace Hardware. There's a ton of stuff in this whole little section. So, you know, as we walk through here, kind of give you a good idea of just what this feels like, right? So it's a super cool, small little street right here in Town Center, but really great vibes. So again, you got this place right here, a little kind of home shop, if you will, but you can see really nice little entry, pretty just kind of family friendly spot. So, you know, across there you got the Mud Pie Company, which is here, let me turn this around. That's kind of, you got what's it called, pottery. So we've been there a couple of times with our kids, paint pottery, do all that fun stuff with them. Nice little thing for Mother's Day. Not sure if moms actually like that stuff, but us dads are terrible at gift ideas. So let me know if moms actually like pottery made by their kids or not. But so one of the more popular places right here in Town Center is this Mexican restaurant right here. It's called Chachi's. So good margaritas, decent food. People around here seem to love it. It is Tex-Mex. They call it Mexican. Again, I'm not a big fan of Tex-Mex, but I like a margarita, so I'll come here too. But you know, you got Chachi's right here. As you can see, all the outdoor seating. It's actually so popular they made what they call Chachi's next door, which is just right over there. So they actually extended Chachi's to that area as well. But again, really good place. Cool spot just to come hang out with friends, get a margarita, get some food. Really great spot. And then the little park right here behind me. So every Thursday, we do kind of a community event, sort of a little pop-up like craft / farmers market every Thursday. So this entire park right here, will be full of just vendors and people selling different things, homemade items, different foods, just kind of what you would see at any farmer's market, any little community farmer's market. Right here goes on here. So, you know, as you can see, there's some apartments all around this area here. And then again, just another look back at the main street, town center, where all those little shops and everything are too. So just beautiful, little quiet, again, family friendly area right here. You saw I mentioned earlier, the sushi place that my wife and I go to is actually right here. It's called Little Ginger's. Really good sushi spot. So if you enjoy sushi, you'll probably catch us there every now and then. But you know, let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to take you to the H-E-B. Go inside Torchy's. Actually, I'm going to show you that flood line from Hurricane Harvey, because that whole shopping center flooded about 7 feet. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be truthful with y'all. I'm going to show y'all what happened, give you some insight into flooding and all that. So we're going to go head over there and check that out too. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are right now in kind of the main hub of Kingwood, and really more so the back of Kingwood at that main intersection of Westlake Houston and Kingwood Drive. So this is where you'll find yourself spending a lot of time. As you can see, you got H-E-B directly behind me. The greatest grocery store in the history of grocery stores. I've never hyped up a grocery store, but H-E-B is the best. You have to check it out when you come out here to Texas. But other than H-E-B, I mean, you got Whataburger, you got Freddy's, you got Raising Cane's, you got, you know, we have a vet right here where we bring our dogs to. It's Banfield. You got a dentist office, Great Clips, Jimmy John's. There's Hand and Stone right here. There's Salada also. If you feel like paying $25 for a salad, they can make that happen in Salada. I do it all the time. It's stupid, but it actually is really, really good. So I don't mind paying 20 bucks every now and then for a good salad. But, you know, Orange Theory Fitness right back here. Coming back this way, you know, you got Torchy's, you got Starbucks right here as well. There's a ramen place. There's Crust Pizza, which I'm going to show you that in a second. There's Mod Pizza, pretty much anything you could ask for. Potbelly. What we're going to do right now, though, I wanted to show you all these places. But speaking to flooding, so I told you I was going to be honest with you about flooding. This whole shopping center was 7 feet underwater during Hurricane Harvey back in 2017, or actually right after Hurricane Harvey. They opened the floodgates up in Lake Conroe, which then flooded Lake Houston because we're downstream of Lake Conroe. So, you know, always want to keep that in mind when you're looking in Kingwood. That was kind of a one-off. They consider it a man-made flood. Because it actually didn't even flood during the hurricane. It flooded after, when they released the floodgates in Conroe. So want to jump here in Torchy's and just kind of to talk about it too. Torchy's is one of my favorite places to eat. They got pretty good tacos here, but we'll go ahead and jump in here. I'm going to show you this flood line real quick and kind of show you what Torchy's is all about. So as you can see, you know, really cool place. You got the bar back there. We come here with the kids just to hang out, but again, here we are. Here's that Harvey flood line right up here. Make sure you can see that. So this whole place was 7 feet underwater. As you can see in some of these pictures I'll throw up too. Just kind of a crazy thing that happened here in Kingwood. Again, a lot of people flooded. Big portion of this area flooded. So luckily back then, a lot of this stuff wasn't built out yet. Torchy's was here, the H-E-B was there. A lot of this other stuff wasn't fully built out yet, so it wasn't too bad. They kind of got everything back to normal. Like I said, we moved in 2018, within a year after Harvey, and you know, there was no issues by the time we moved here. You would have never even known that Harvey happened in 2018 when we moved here. So, you know, just kind of coming back this way, turn around real quick. I'm going to show you. There is a hospital here too. So a lot of people ask, being kind of tucked away in the back of Kingwood, you know, how quick can you get to the hospital? Is there emergency services? You have the emergency room and the hospital back here in Kingwood. So really great having that there as well. Again, as I mentioned, you got Starbucks right here, Mod, plus a whole new shopping plaza that's just on the other side of that. Little kind of secret info that I know, there's actually a pretty cool bar coming right there. It's people are super excited about, because, you know, as we mentioned, Kingwood is a slower town, but as these younger families start moving here, we're starting to see more bars, more cool restaurants, breweries, things like that pop up here in the area. So that's one that we're looking forward to. And then there's also a full service hair salon coming to the area. So my wife and I owned a hair salon in South Orange County, California, called the Powder Room. So if you're from Rancho Mission Viejo and you happen to be watching this, my wife and I actually built the Powder Room there in Sendero Marketplace. And then we sold it when we moved out here to Houston. So my wife is still very well connected in the beauty industry. She works here. Her friend is actually building a full service salon right here, and it's going to be super high end, beautiful place. My wife's going to work there as well. So if you're concerned about getting your hair done, maybe you're from Southern California and you're thinking, I don't want big crazy Texas hair, well, you have your own California stylist right here in Kingwood. So we'll go ahead and zoom out. One of the biggest draws for us moving from Southern California with our two kids who are only 1 and 2 years old at the time was being somewhat close to the airport, because we knew we were going to have family, friends flying out to visit. We were going to be flying back to California to visit our family. So being close to Bush Intercontinental Airport, this is IAH. There's 2 main airports here in Houston. The other one is Hobby, which is on the south side. I'm going to show you that in a second as well. So just to kind of speak to, we're about 15-20 minutes to the airport from the back of Kingwood. If you live up here towards the front of the Kingwood, you're 10 minutes straight down Highway 69 to get to the airport. Not a bad drive at all. And what's great about Highway 69 right here, there's hardly any traffic on this north side. So for 69, you're gonna get traffic mostly down here on the south side, where you're kind of in Houston itself, close to downtown. But up here, I can honestly say 99% of the time when we're on this highway, no traffic. You're flying down 69 pretty easily. So having Bush Airport close by is awesome. On the south side right here, you have Hobby. So if you're looking into flying out to Houston to visit, you know, any of these cities that you're thinking about, you could be looking at Cypress over here, or Tomball, the Woodlands, Spring, New Caney, Porter area. You're probably going to want to fly into Bush. This is IAH Airport right here, because that you're going to get anywhere on this north side pretty easily. If you're looking at the south side, Pearland, Sugarland, down here, kind of where all the oil refineries are, chemical plants and all that, Mont Bellevue, Channelview, Deer Park, League City, you're going to want to fly down here into Hobby, because you're going to be closer to the south side. So just kind of food for thought. If you're looking at the north side, fly into Bush. If you're looking at the south side, fly into Hobby. It's going to make your life way easier. But, you know, again, speaking of commuting as well. So, for example, I'll use my personal example. When I moved here back in 2018, I used to work for ExxonMobil. I was in operations there. So I worked in Torrance, California. If you're watching this and you're familiar with the area, I worked there in Torrance for about 12 years. And then I transferred out here to Baytown. So as you can see, as I mentioned, we live right here in Kingwood, Baytown, the whole port area down here, a lot of chemical plants. If you're in the oil industry, you might find yourself working in this general area. So good thing to point out, being back here, it wasn't actually too bad, because what I would do is I would actually come out of our little neighborhood here and just take Westlake Houston Parkway all the way to Beltway 8, which is this loop that goes all the way around the city. And then as you can see on Beltway, I'm outside of Houston. I don't have to drive through the city for anything. So kind of kept on Beltway here, hopped on I-10 down here to Baytown, got to work. Same thing coming home, come up this way to Beltway, up here, Westlake Houston, back up to Kingwood. I actually have a brother-in-law who works at the same place in Baytown that I was working at, and they just opened up this 99 highway, and he lives up here in New Caney. So this just recently opened as well. So what he actually does, he just takes 99 all the way around I-10 and gets down here into Baytown. So if you're gonna be working pretty much anywhere on this east side oil industry, not a bad option living anywhere up here on this north side close to Highway 69, Beltway 8, and 99 highway, because there's multiple ways, as you can see here, that you can get in and out of Kingwood, Porter, New Caney, Porter Heights, which is up and coming as well. Anywhere around this area, you're going to have options getting in and out of this part, kind of the more oil chemical industry, as I mentioned. You know, if you're down here and you're going to be working, I have a buddy who lives in Kingwood. He's a lawyer. He works down here on the south side of downtown. So it takes him, on average, from what he told me, he leaves about 7, which is when traffic is highest. Takes him a little bit over an hour to get down here into Houston. So if you're thinking about that commute, he takes Highway 69 straight down, and then his job is actually just off of Highway 69 down here on the south side, close to NRG. So quick tidbit there, if you're gonna be working downtown, expect some traffic, mostly kind of once you get to this 610 loop. You're gonna have traffic all around Houston inside of this loop. If you're staying on the outskirts of town, shouldn't really see too much traffic on the outskirts. You know, zooming back out again real quick, one thing that we do, my wife and I, we love the Woodlands. And what's funny is a lot of times when people call me, they're almost always between the Woodlands and Kingwood. And what I always say is the Woodlands is essentially Kingwood on steroids. The Woodlands is a huge city. They were actually both built by the same developers. So very similar homes, similar topography. They kept all the woods, the trees, the nature in the Woodlands as well. But it is the Woodlands. So you're gonna have the Woodlands Mall. You're gonna have more shopping, more nightlife, more entertainment, more hotels. It's more of a destination city. So you're gonna see that in the Woodlands. But like I said, we love the Woodlands. So my wife and I go up to the Woodlands all the time. Like weekly, we're up there. There's an In-N-Out there that they just built. So we go to In-N-Out, we go to the mall. We do kind of all our shopping and things that we can't get in Kingwood out there. And then we come back to our little pocket, kind of more secluded area of Kingwood. But, you know, just to mention, it takes us usually about 30 minutes to get up here to the mall. Not a terrible drive. Again, no traffic hardly ever on 69. And then we just take 99 up here to 45. Again, no traffic on 99 as well. It's really an easy drive to get up to the Woodlands. And then similarly, if you're trying to get downtown for any type of event in the evening or on weekends when there's really not too much traffic, again, it's about 30 minutes to downtown. So if you're gonna go to an Astros game, you're gonna go to a Rockets game, it's not a bad drive. 30, maybe 40 minutes at the most if you're in the evening, kind of after traffic dies down. Not a bad drive at all getting into Houston. So again, just overall, really great area, really great location. Honestly, we loved it. I mean, I can't say enough about it. Getting into Kingwood and kind of more detailed stuff of Kingwood, one thing I'm going to show you too in a minute, we're actually going to go check out these Greenbelt trails. So just down the street from my house, I'm going to take you into the trail. We're going to walk through the trails. And I'm just going to talk about what it is, what it's all about, how many miles it is. But you can actually see these green lines here. That's all the Greenbelt. So this is over 70 miles of trails. So if you bike, if you run, if you walk, you know, your kids, like our kids, for example, we live just in this little pocket. Our kids go to Deerwood. You can take the trail. They just walk the trail here to school. And it's such a safe, family-friendly area that you don't really have to worry about it. But a lot of our friends live in this area as well. And it's just awesome. So we're going to check out the Greenbelts too. Okay, so as we're walking over to the Greenbelt, which I'm going to show you in a second, just kind of wanted to show you this walk. So I do this walk with my kids, walking my dog every day. But, you know, you can kind of see some of these houses on either side of me, just to give you an idea of what this neighborhood feels like. So again, this is Sand Creek Village. And again, you know, in Sand Creek, you're probably finding homes, you know, say like this one right here on the corner, depending on if it's remodeled or not, probably mid fives. You can find homes in the 400s here without a pool, probably low 400s. But there's homes in Sand Creek, you know, one, for example, actually just down this little cul-de-sac here, just recently sold at about $565. It's about 3,800 square feet. I think it was 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom, beautiful home though, pretty updated, and went for $565. So, you know, kind of coming up to the Greenbelt real quick and turn around here and show you. Here's the entrance to the Greenbelt just behind me. So as you can see, very woodsy, beautiful community. This is kind of just everything that I love and people seem to love about being here and living here in Kingwood, is just access to the trails, just nature. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping, just overall beautiful, beautiful area. So coming again, here we are at the Greenbelt. As you can see, the little sign here, every entrance to the Greenbelt has that sign. So that's how you know you're gonna be on the Greenbelt Trail. But again, here we are walking through the Greenbelt. As I mentioned in the map video where I showed you kind of how the trails run through all these communities. This is, again, I think it's 76 miles of trails that run all through the community. So just for example, that was just down the street from my house. I get on this trail right here, and then where it comes out on the other side, it's actually right at our community park. So Sand Creek Park, where we have our pool, we have the playgrounds. Just, you'll always see kids with their moms and dads just hanging out there at the park. Great place actually to make friends. You know, as I keep mentioning, obviously this whole video is about the family-friendly environment here in Kingwood. #1 best place to raise a family, right? So we see that a lot. I go to the park, I'm always meeting other dads, other moms. We have swim team there at the park as well. So all of our kids' friends are there all the time. Just really, really great place. And I mean, I love this walk. My dog's probably gonna be jealous that I'm out here without him, but he's probably taking a nap anyway, he don't care. But yeah, so that's the Greenbelt. And again, access to the Greenbelt, pretty much any community in Kingwood, you're gonna have Greenbelt access. So if you run like I do, I actually have a treadmill. I've made a gym in my garage, so I don't really run outside too often anymore. I probably should get back to that. But if you run, if you walk, if you bike, your kids can get to school on the Greenbelt. You don't have to worry about them walking through traffic. Just great, great thing having the Greenbelts here. And one thing to note too, the Greenbelt, it is part of the HOA. So I believe it's $95 a year or $100 a year for the Greenbelt. So we all pave, and they, you know, obviously you can see that it's paved, and they keep everything, trees trimmed and all this stuff, so you have access and keeps it nice essentially. I already kind of mentioned the clubs of Kingwood, but if you're a golfer, you have to check out the clubs of Kingwood. You got 4 courses on this side, the Deerwood course on this side, which is actually where they filmed Tin Cup the movie. So kind of a cool little thing there that people always talk about, but really, really great area, great family friendly environment. That's the map. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. So, you know, as I'm going through this, if you have questions for me, you could reach out to me. All my information is right there below. You can follow me on Instagram as well. So I'm always posting stories about the things that we do. Like my daughter's in ballet here in Kingwood. They both do swim team. So I kind of try to post stories on social media just to give people who might not be here an idea of what it's actually like living here, and kind of just the day-to-day what we do, right? And what it might be like for you and your family to live here. So follow me on social media, reach out to me if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd love to help y'all make the move out here to Kingwood, just like me and my family did back in 2018. So to speak to some of the entertainment, the bars, the restaurants, Target's coming, which is going to be really nearby in Valley Ranch. I'm going to show you that. To speak to kind of the location of where most of the stuff is that you're going to be doing, or find places you're going to find yourself at. Right here in the front of Kingwood off Highway 59, you can see there's some hotels here. If you kind of zoom in, this whole little area right here, there's a bunch of restaurants. You know, you can see some restaurants here. Mexican restaurant, Texas Roadhouse, which is very, very good. Actually a really popular place. This little intersection, you got Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Culver's, BB's Tex Orleans, which is another good restaurant. A ton of stuff, pretty much any type of restaurant. You got a movie theater, any type, pretty much whatever you want to do, you have right here off Highway 59. And then kind of going down this way into Humble as well, you got the mall. Home Depot. There's also a Lowe's over here right in Kingwood. Just a ton of stuff to do right here off Highway 69. And then the biggest thing that's being built and kind of what's flooding this area even more is Valley Ranch. So Valley Ranch is a big master plan community, basically encompassing this whole area. But right here, they're putting in a Target, which is supposed to be done this year. This is 2023, so Target, there's Kroger, there's Hobby Lobby, which my wife is always at Hobby Lobby for some reason, getting whatever she gets. There's Freddy's, Raising Cane's, Olive Garden, Gringos, Academy, pretty much a ton of stuff. There's a giant movie theater over here that has like the XD theaters, whatever you call it. But this place is really up and coming. And what's super great about it is, again, being right here in Kingwood, we're not far. It's about 10 minutes to get up here to Valley Ranch. So we get to enjoy all of those amenities. And then, like I said, kind of similar to the Woodlands, enjoy all that stuff and get back over here to our little pocket community that we love back here. So, you know, again, I already mentioned this little Kingwood Town Center area has a ton of stuff as well. And then back here off Mills Branch, there's a lot of new construction back here. So this is really the only new construction area in Kingwood. I'm going to show you that in this video as well when we get to these houses. But one of my favorite spots, so I actually know the owner of Kingwood Taco Shop. We go to the same church. Really great guy. You know, has a family as well. Great tacos. So being from Southern California, you know, growing up Hispanic, I had 2 Mexican grandmothers that cooked every single day. We weren't allowed to eat out, so we ate at home all the time. The Tex-Mex food here, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Tex-Mex. You know, that's just, I have what I consider authentic Mexican food growing up in Southern California. You can't really find that here, but Kingwood Taco Shop is probably the closest in flavor, and just everything that they do really reminds me of my grandmother's cooking back in Southern California. So real authentic, what I consider authentic Mexican food right here at Kingwood Taco Shop. So if you're looking in this area, or maybe you already live back here, if you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and check that place out. Really, really great. If you like sushi, for example, another place my wife and I hit up all the time, it's called Little Ginger. It's right here in this little section. Really, really good sushi. You got Fuddruckers, Chachi's Mexican restaurant, just everything you would want right here in this area as well. Okay, so right now this is Sand Creek Village Park right behind me. So as you can see, I was just on the Greenbelts. I came from the Greenbelt this way, getting on this trail. You get to the park, and then the reason I wanted to highlight this, if you want to live in Sand Creek, what's really cool is I showed you in that map video, this Greenbelt that I'm on right now, if I turn around here, you can see this whole thing goes directly to Deerwood Elementary, which is right on the other side of all these trees, probably quarter-mile that way. So the school actually does some events with the kids here at the park. We do like picnic in the park. My daughter's in kindergarten, so we actually just did that a couple weeks ago. You might even be able to hear, I think they're at recess right now, but I can hear all the kids screaming and yelling back there. But yeah, just to note, Deerwood Elementary is just on the other side of this park here. And then what's really cool, every summer, pretty much, I'm not going to say all the villages, but a lot of the villages here in Kingwood have their own swim team. So for us, we're the Sand Creek Sea Lions. So you can see the pool back here. But every weekend, like if we have a home meet, what's really cool is this whole area right here is just filled with people. So all the parents kind of just hang out right here for the day. And then obviously the entire pool setup, there's concessions, there's food. They bring food trucks out here as well. And then it's just kids playing, running around, just a good old family friendly time right here. And nice friendly competition, right? The kids are in there swimming. My kids love it. My son started it last year when he was 6. He's 7 now, so he's on his 2nd year. My daughter is about to be 6. I always say she's 6. She's about to be 6 next month. But she just started this year also. And it's just really good, and a really good thing to meet friends, right? So like for me and my wife, like I mentioned, we moved here. We didn't have any friends or family in the area. So it was kind of tough going for the first few years, honestly, because we didn't really do anything. But now that our kids are in activities, we're meeting a lot more parents. We're kind of socializing more as well. So it's been really cool. But great thing to point out. So if you're in Sand Creek, Green Tree, Kings Point, there's, even if you're on the Atascocita Humboldt side, we were just at a meet we had against Eagle Springs. We have Walden, which is another community in Atascocita. But all these little communities have their own swim team. So really, really cool thing if you got young kids to be involved in. Okay, so here we are. This is probably what you've been waiting for most, is what are these houses like, right? What can I buy in different areas of Kingwood? So as I mentioned, as you can see here, you can be in the 200s. You got 190 down here, 300s, 250s, into the 400s, kind of here in this pocket back here. You got one right here. It's 1.29, 1.3 million back here in Kings Point. You get down to Royal Shores. Over here, you're looking at $1 million plus, but these are beautiful, beautiful homes with docks right here on the lake. Really, really awesome neighborhood. We have some friends that live right on this last street here in Royal Shores. Beautiful community, beautiful homes. And you're looking probably 1.5, 2 million-ish plus in that area. But, for the most part, one thing I want to talk about is, as you can see, look at all these. Yellow means pending. So yellow is pending, green is active. Kingwood has become, just in these last couple years, a very highly sought after area, and the market is really competitive here. So we're seeing, again, point of this video, according to niche.com, as we mentioned, family friendly, #1 place to raise a family in Houston. We're seeing a lot of families move to this area right now. So when things come on the market here, they usually go pretty quickly, especially if it's something that's already remodeled, very nice. People are just jumping on it. And so you can see some of these homes, this one's $385, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. You got $475 here, 5-bedroom, 3 full, 2 half baths. This one, that's 1.3 million. I actually want to look at this one. I haven't looked at this yet. Just got listed a day ago. I mean, gorgeous home on the outside. I actually love all this brick too. It gives it kind of an older charm, I think. Beautiful home. So again, 1.3 million, massive kitchen, island. I love all these windows. You actually find this a lot, even in homes that aren't 1.5, 1.3 million. You're gonna find a lot of windows looking out to backyards, which let in a ton of light. That's actually a pretty common thing across the board here in Kingwood. So on the bigger homes, if you're looking in $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 range, you're gonna find homes similar to this, just not as big. But as far as floor plans go, big master bedrooms, you're gonna see things like this, not this nice, at a 500 or 600 price range, but still beautiful homes all around this area. So, 1.3 million there. We can kind of, as I mentioned, this area back here, and just to kind of note, this back of Kingwood is what we consider it. You're gonna have some of your higher price points. This area over here off North Park and Westlake, Houston, as you can see, some of your lower price points here in the 200s, 300s, a little bit over here in Green Tree into the 4s. And then kind of the front of Kingwood, you're sort of going to be mostly 300s. There's a little pocket here. As you can see, Kings Forest, you have 700s, 900s, 789 right here. We can take a look at that real quick. Kind of give you an idea of what that looks like, what you can get for your money in this area if it loads. There we go. So this one's another 5-bedroom, beautiful pool in the backyard. Again, beautiful, gorgeous house. This one was, I believe, 789. I love this pool. That is a gorgeous backyard. Got this fire pit as well. Looks like it might be a corner lot too. So huge lot, beautiful house, 3-car garage. Just kind of give you an idea of what your money can get here. And again, as you can see, 350, 350, and look at all these yellows. Look at all these pendings. I'm telling you, this is such a hot market right now. Kingwood is very, very popular, and for good reason, as you've seen throughout this video. But, we can kind of end this whole har.com thing right here. Oh, real quick, just to mention, so this is Kingwood Greens, this area here. So as I mentioned, Kingwood Country Club has 5 courses. Kingwood Greens is right on the Forest course. So these are all golf course homes. And you're gonna see, obviously here, you're in the millions, 1.2, 1.2, 1.1. Beautiful community. I've actually know a couple people that retired from California, from South Orange County, where I was from. and retired and moved right here to Kingwood Greens. Really quiet, secluded, beautiful, beautiful, kind of tucked away hidden gem right here in Kingwood. Nobody ever really talks about Kingwood Greens, but it's a very beautiful community. I actually have another video, which I can slap up right here so you can see it, of Kingwood Greens. So if you want to see some homes in this area, go ahead and click on that, and that'll take you to that area there. But that's it for the homes. I hope you were able to see something for anybody, whatever price range you're at. You can be right here in Kingwood with good schools, with great ratings, everything you need in pretty much any price point. So the number one reason why I think Kingwood is voted the number one best neighborhood to raise a family in Houston, you know, aside from these beautiful homes, the great family friendly community, all the amenities, just everything about the city itself. But one of the main things that I hear, not only from my clients, but friends and acquaintances that I have all around Houston, and why people seem to just be flooding to Kingwood right now, is because of the school system. So pull it up right here on niche.com. Again, as I said, you know, none of this is my opinion, although I do agree with all these reviews and everything we're talking about. This is all straight from niche.com. So you can see right here, Kingwood is actually part of Humble ISD. So it's the number 4 best school district in Harris County. So in Houston, overall grade is an A. Main thing I want to show you is the map as we kind of go down here, scroll through all this stuff. And this is all Texas rankings here. So out of 1,032, number 31 most diverse school district in Texas, number 51 best place to teach in Texas. So if you're a teacher, I know a lot of teachers, actually we're friends with several teachers here in Kingwood schools, and they absolutely love it. Number 67 districts with the best teachers in Texas. There you go. So main thing I want to point out, let's get to it right here on this map. So here's Humble ISD. You know, we already did the little map tour. So Houston down here, we're up here. Here's Kingwood. So just straight off the bat, you can see all A-rated schools, couple B pluses here. And then this area down here is a Atascocita Humble area. So great schools here as well, and a lot of new development coming into this area right here. Basically this whole Westlake Houston Parkway, there's a ton of new construction. You have the Groves, you have Balmoral, Eagle Springs in here. Really, really nice community there in Humble, Atascocita area. Good schools as well. But again, as I mentioned, people are flooding Kingwood, and this is why, especially young families, people with young kids. You know, as I mentioned, I have a client, him and his wife are from Clear Lake on the south side of Houston. They're actually buying a house right here in Sand Creek Village, so that their kids can go to Kingwood schools. We had a couple other friends from the south side who moved up here a couple years ago. They live in Green Tree, so you know, their elementary age kid goes to Green Tree. Their high school age goes right here to Kingwood High. Again, A schools all the way around. And what's really cool is, so each little subdivision, so like we're in Sand Creek here, our kids go to Deerwood. You know, we have friends here in Green Tree, they go to Green Tree Elementary right there. You know, back here in Kings Point, you have Willow Creek Elementary. Here's Kingwood High, Bear Branch Elementary, Foster Elementary. As you can see, all these little subdivisions, you're pretty much gonna have your own elementary school. And then once you get into middle school, you know, back here, this is where we live. We have Riverwood Middle School back here. Then you have your other middle schools, Kingwood Middle School over here more towards the front. And then for high school, I already mentioned we have Kingwood High right here off of Kingwood Drive, just across from the golf courses. And then you have K Park, Kingwood Park High School over here off North Park. So depending on where you live is where you're either going to be zoned to Kingwood High or K Park. So if you're looking at buying a home here in Kingwood, and you know you want your kids to go to Kingwood High, or you know you want them at K Park, just make sure whatever house you're buying is zoned to the school that you want. So we're back here on my street. We're gonna go ahead and end it there. I really hope that I was able to give you some good value in this video, give you a really good understanding of what Kingwood is like and what it feels like to live here, to play here, to have your activities here, to work here, and just really give you an idea of what these homes look like, give you a good vibe of this area. So we come up back to my house. Looks like my pool guy's here right now, so that's good because I need that done. But yeah, so as we wrap this thing up, just remember all my information is below. So if you're thinking about moving to Kingwood, I have firsthand experience in doing so. We moved here, as I mentioned, from Southern California, and it's been great for our family. Just honestly, it's been an awesome place, an awesome community. The people are the best, as you saw in those reviews on niche.com. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you want to speak to me directly, that information in the description is my direct info. So you can text, call, email. Hey Joe, how you doing? That's Joe, my pool guy. I'm good, man. So yeah, all my information is down there. Again, reach out. I'm available pretty much 24/7. So go ahead and reach out to me there. You can also schedule a Zoom call. So that link below is to my Calendly, and you can schedule a Zoom call there, and I'll actually do a map tour with you. See you, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, I dumped some chocolate in.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, so sorry about that. I'm all flustered. But you know, feel free to reach out. That Zoom call is actually kind of the best thing because you can get, I actually screen share with you a lot. So everyone that reaches out to me will screen share, whether you're thinking about Kingwood or Cypress or the Woodlands or wherever. I'll kind of do these map tours for you and show you where everything is, show you schools, show you school ratings, shopping centers, pretty much anything you want to know about the area that you're interested in, we can go through in that Zoom call. So, you know, with all that said, I appreciate you guys for being with me. I hope I was able to give you some good value in this video. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next one.